talking to the queen of the classics at the moment, and it must be amazing to be you, because when you come into a studio like this, I immediately know you before you know me. And then when you go on the big shows like Parky or even Loose Women, the big stars around you all know who you are. That's an odd feeling, isn't it?
It is very strange. I have to say that's something that nobody can teach you. You just got to get used to it. In actual fact, I was running recently in a wood, in a very dark wood. Don't ask why, but we were training, and I had no makeup on. I had my hair tied back. I was in a tracksuit. It was quite dark, so you could hardly see my face. It was raining, so I did not look like me. And I whizzed past this guy who said to me, "Keep up the good work, Catherine." And I thought, how on earth do you know it's me? It amazes me. When I think I'm in disguise, it's clearly not a very good one. But everyone's really nice. I think I am lucky that people come up and they say really nice things and they just want to chat, and I'm a chatterbox, so I don't mind at all.
And when you go to something like Parkinson, and he's been such a champion of your cause, that's a funny feeling, because we're meant to watch him on the TV, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, that's a nice part of it, and that's always when my mum freaks out usually. My mum had a big moment when she came to Parkinson. She's been very calm the whole time, and she sort of takes it all in her stride. You know, good Welsh mum, doesn't get carried away. And I looked over in the middle of Parkinson, and she was sitting there with her mouth, like her jaw was on the floor. And she was just staring at me. And then I went up to her after and said, what was the matter? Did I say something wrong? And she said, "Well, when did all this happen? You were my daughter, and now you're like this international star, and you're on Parkinson." And she started freaking out. So it took Parkinson for my mum to realise what's happened.
And how do you keep your nerve during those shows? Do you just take it all in your stride now? Have you a way of dealing with it?
I can get a little bit nervous when I'm doing something sort of slightly out of my comfort zone, and the Parkinson was a really big interview. For me, I remember going down the stairs and thinking, please don't fall, because it would be so embarrassing to tumble down the Parkinson stairs. But he's lovely, and I've met him before, so I think being aware, really, you know, sometimes with the press things and media things, you've got to look at it and I guess just answer with what you're comfortable with. But as long as you're comfortable with the interview in the first place, I think that always makes you feel relaxed.
I spoke to Andrea Bocelli a couple of years ago, and he said he'd rather not talk to anybody. He'd like to just sing and make albums. That's it.
My favourite part is the singing and the live shows, and then making the albums. But this is all part of it. And, you know, in order for people to know that you've got a new album out, or you're going to be out on tour, you know, you have to reach people in this way. But as I said, I am a chatterbox, so I actually find this bit really easy.
This year has been such a fabulous year for you. You had the tour last year, then you came across Darcy Bussell and put a show together which just went gangbusters. It was originally meant to be doing village halls and town fetes, and then suddenly you're doing arenas. Everybody wanted to see it. It seemed to me like you were surprised that people would want to see you and Darcy performing.
Well, yes, on that scale. We did the first lot of shows in the December, and did 17, and sort of moderately big venues, sort of 5,000, something like that.
So it wasn't village halls?
No, it wasn't village halls. And we loved that, and we had so much fun. We did not ever imagine that then we'd get the offer to go and do it again in the May, but it would be this time 10,000 people a night. So we played the O2 Arena twice. I think we did 10 shows in total. And because it's ballet and it's classical music, so it was like suddenly it was a pop event or something, because we were filling arenas. So that's why we were shocked. But we loved doing the show, and it was so much fun. Very, very hard, because I had to learn to dance and Darcy had to learn to sing, but brilliant. And we made a DVD, so we've got that as a memento of all the fun.
And I saw a documentary you did, the making of this show. That thing about taking you out of your comfort zone, you seem to thrive on that in a way. You like to make life difficult for you, because you could have just gone on and sang. You didn't need to dance, did you?
Yeah, I do work better under pressure. I like a bit of a challenge, and I think when you should always have new things that you want to achieve and be working for. It shouldn't always be easy. That said, I did really throw myself in the deep end, and there were moments when I thought, what am I doing? This is way too hard. But it in the end turned out to be so much fun, and I'm grateful for that, because I didn't think I was able to sing things like the Carmen aria or Maria Callas and be dancing and running up and down stairs at the same time and being flung around. So I learned a lot of lessons doing that.
How fit do you have to be generally to sing? And then add that to the dancing. Does that add an extra 50% to what you've got to do?
It's totally different. I started, when I knew the show was starting, I started running. I had to get a personal trainer. I had to start doing, weightlifting and all this crazy stuff to make myself strong enough to be able to do it. Because sometimes when I sing the Carmen, I'm in front of an orchestra, I'm exhausted and out of breath by the end of the song because it's such a fast and technically difficult song. So if you then have things where you are running and being lifted and all these other things, it makes it really, really hard. It has made me take on a different level of fitness, which I'm enjoying.
How do you know where to go in? How do you see what you're singing, or is it just there? Because I probably come in about 4 notes lower.
Well, I read music, and so I know what I'm supposed to be singing by reading the music, but also we've generally practiced it a lot, so I know where to come in because I've probably missed a few.
But on the scale in your voice, if your voice is like this and your note's there, how do you know to get it there and not a bit there or a bit there? Because we don't want a flat Katherine Jenkins or a bit sharp, do we?
Well, usually there are notes in the orchestra that will help you. They're a little kind of, we're singing within the chord.
So you've got some sneaky things going on. Yeah,
so you're singing within the chord. So usually you'll know, okay, well, I'm going to get my note from the trumpet at that point. But I also have a bit of a photographic memory, so I tend to see the music.
Oh, you see, this genius is continuing. Help me with the touring side of it. I think it's a miserable life. I talk to a lot of comedians who go from venue to venue. It's a very lonely life. At least you've got an orchestra and at least you've got people around you. It's not as showbiz as it seems, is it, touring?
Oh, everyone thinks it's really glamorous, but it's not that glamorous. And lots of parts of my life I think people think are always glamorous, and it's not. Often, I get to sing at things and I arrive on stage, but I've had to walk through the kitchens and all the back route and the alleyways to get to the stage. It can be quite funny. But I do have a team that travel with me on tour, and they are sort of like my family. Barry, who's my stage manager, is Welsh, so that's always good to have him on the road. And one of my best friends, Sophie, she is my wardrobe mistress and sort of fast changer. And so when you've got people that you love around you, it makes it so much easier. And the family come and visit me when I'm on tour.
You mentioned early Shirley Bassey, and I'd like to give you a round of applause because those frocks you wear on stage, they are remarkable. What a feat of engineering they are. Congratulations.
Thank you. I love my frocks. I think that's just one of the best bits, is that I get to choose all these, because I am a girl's girl. So I love anything glamorous, and the shoes and the jewellery, and it gives us girls something to talk about when I get off stage.
I suspect you could buy a small house with some of those frocks. You're not getting them off the rack, are you? Let's face it.
They are being made, usually, yeah, because they need to be something that extra bit special.
Congratulations on being you. I think you're amazing.
Thank you.
Will you marry me? I think I'm in love.
Are you single?
Yes, desperate as well, and deeply unattractive. Nothing gets past you.
No, you're not.
Thank you very much. Seriously, I think you're incredible. The first time I heard your CD, I thought, I need to find out more, and it's just a God-given gift.
Aww.
And the fact that you don't do those topless shoots and things like that, well done for you, because I'd take the money if it was me. I'd do anything for money. Katherine Jenkins' new CD is in your stores now. It's called Sacred Arias, and you're a star. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.